Former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott, thank you so much for speaking to us here on the Aussie Wire. We're in the atrium at the launch of the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. Someone like yourself taking 3 days out of your schedule, you would be pulled in a million different directions. The office back home, I'm sure, is screaming for your attention. Why have you chosen to dedicate 3 entire days just to be here?
Because it's not often that you get the chance to mix in such extraordinary company to discuss so many extraordinary things. And sure, life is very busy and there are many demands on people's time, but you've got to get your priorities right. And the chance to be in this company talking about the big challenges of our time, not just the immediate political and social and economic challenges, but I suppose some of the cultural and spiritual challenges that we face. Well, I just thought it was too important to miss.
The theme here is a better story. What's this better story?
When I was party leader, I occasionally talked about striving to be our best selves. Every day you want to be better than you were yesterday, and you want to be better tomorrow than you are today. And I think the better story is the ARC convener's idea of a collective version of something like that. I think what they're driving at is that Western civilization generally, the Anglosphere in particular, has a great story to tell. It's not a perfect story, but it's a great story. We need to tell that. We need to tell that better, and we need to make it better tomorrow than it is today. I think that's what they're driving at.
So a better story implies that there's something wrong with the story that we've been telling ourselves up to this point.
Look, if you believe the message that's coming from the commanding intellectual heights of our society at this time, it's that we're sexist, we're racist, we're homophobic, we're oppressive, we're exploitative.
Destroying the planet.
All these things. And basically it's not true. It's never been as true as it's claimed. And it's certainly much less true now than ever before. And that's a bad story because it's calculated to depress people. It's calculated to fracture self-belief, both individually and nationally. And that story needs to be corrected. And that's the fundamental at the heart of this conference. We have a good story to tell. Let's tell it, and let's over time make it an even better story.
There's an enormous proportion of Australians here at the launch of ARC. Obviously, some of that would be due to the former Deputy Prime Minister, John Anderson, having been involved right from the very beginning and inviting a lot of people. Do you think there's another reason why Australians have responded in such large numbers?
I think that's essentially the reason that John Anderson, the Australian convener, is such a well-respected person with such a pulling power, if you like. And I think that ARC has been lucky to have as the Australian representative someone of John's stature. I certainly hope that in subsequent meetings of this type, and I hope there will be subsequent meetings, that we'll have delegations of comparable weight from Britain, the United States, from continental Europe, and elsewhere. And I think that's the objective of the organisers.
Sure. What do you hope to see out of this? There's a lot of people online saying this is just another elite talk fest, and they would view your attendance, and this is not intended as a personal insult, they would view your attendance as an example of that. You're a former Prime Minister. What can this really do?
Well, there's a lot to be said for talk fests. A, because the individuals who attend emerge better informed and sometimes even wiser. So even if it were just a talk fest, that's not to be deprecated. I certainly hope that at some point there might emerge out of this, if you like, a London declaration of the things that we collectively think are important and believe need to be, I suppose, better appreciated in our society.
Sure.
And I'd also like to think that everyone who has attended this will return to their normal activities invigorated, inspired, and more effective. One of the things that we need is, if I may say so, a long counter-march through the institutions. And hopefully the people here will be more ready and more effective for that long counter-march as a result of being here.
Well, former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott, thank you so much for your time.
Good on you, Topher. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.